皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So recently, everyone, I have been enjoying doing a lot of Instagram live streams. I think I talked about this in a different podcast too, but I actually did an Instagram live stream with Jessica, who is a very famous Kyoto trainee, who is originally from New Zealand, and I think she is training in Saitama in the Kanto region, and also Gaijin Goomba, the very famous YouTuber Gaijin Goomba. I did Instagram live stream with these two, and really hoping that I'll be able to do more of these Instagram collaboration lives. Well, of course, it would be great if we can do it on YouTube and make YouTube videos together as well. But I simply want to get to know more about the people who might have, what should I say, a long relationship with. Yeah. So I've recently been really enjoying this, and I just wanted to get to know more about the people who I really respect and love. So talking with Jessica, talking with Gaijin Goomba was really, really amazing. And one of the things I was talking with Gaijin Goomba the other day when we did our Instagram live stream the first time. By the way, we're gonna be probably be making this into a monthly event, so we'll be able to do this once a month. Hopefully, I'll let you guys know when the next date is decided. We haven't been able to decided, yeah, I mean, another 1 month, we don't know what's going to be happening. So we'll see how that goes. But anyways, one of the things that I was talking with Michael from Gaijin Goomba, from Gaijin Goomba, or Michael is Gaijin Goomba, yeah, that's a weird way to explain it. But we were talking a little bit about tourism in Japan. And you guys might know that some people have been explaining that, wow, finally, the Prime Minister Kishida has been starting to talk about maybe opening borders for individual tourists with no restrictions, like you don't have to take a PCR test. If you're vaccinated, you're good, kind of thing, and it actually might be happening. And so, as I've been saying, like many times before in the past, I've been saying that probably free solo traveling without like any restrictions. Well, sort of. You still have some restrictions. I mean, you're you need to be vaccinated at least 3 times, I think. And also, I think you would need to still make a flight reservation through a travel agency. There are a few restrictions still. But still, as I was saying, 2023 is probably my best bet that the beginning, probably spring of 2023 is going to be a timing when finally at least 90% of the restrictions will be gone. But what Gaijin Goomba and I was talking about is that is in terms of the restrictions. And when traveling is going to be back to normal in terms of all the other things, is completely different. So I was talking with a different YouTuber called Ninja Monkey, who often talks about the borders of Japan, and he was actually in Japan for a few weeks, I believe, to report about how there are very few tourists in Japan right now. And I was talking with him that he told me that he's originally from the UK. He told me that even in the UK, they actually opened up their borders completely with no restrictions in the beginning of 2022, and still he was saying that the airports are not functioning 100%. For example, the people quitting due to COVID, who were originally like flight attendants or pilots, these people don't have any jobs anymore. So people, what should I say, left the flying industry. Do you say flying industry? That's directly Japanese, but the airplane industry, and they haven't been able to recover 100% yet, even after more than half a year, I guess, around there. Yeah, but if it takes that much time in the UK, if it's in Japan, it's going to be taking much more time. So that's one thing. Even if the restrictions are gone in terms of business, not just the airplanes, but also, for example, the restaurants or the cultural experience facilities or all these things within the country, the businesses within the country, is going to be taking a lot of time to get back to its original state. I think hardly anyone has spoken any English in the past 2 or 3 years, and I've actually met a lot of people who originally could speak a fair amount of English, meeting them now, for example, some video filming and such, and then them not being able to speak any English anymore because they haven't spoken it for such a long time. These kind of things are happening. And also, Gaijin Goomba has been telling me that he's also very concerned about the feelings about Japanese people. So again, 2023 might be the timing when restrictions will be gone. But number one, again, in terms of business related stuff like the airplanes and the facilities, and the people working there might not be prepared. And number two are the feelings, the emotions, basically, of Japanese people might not be completely ready either. He was explaining. So that is completely understandable. And he was saying that maybe it'll take till 2025 for full recovery. Now, what we mean by feelings of Japanese people or emotions is basically, again, Japanese people or Japan itself is an island nation. And in the past 2 or 3 years, as I just explained earlier, we really haven't had any opportunities to speak English. And that's how isolated we can become. Yeah, if we close our borders. I mean, I can understand that, like, for example, other countries like in Europe, I mean, your countries are separated by borders, but you are still connected, right? You are on the same continent. Is that the right word? Yeah. And in the US, for example, no matter how much you close your borders, the people living within the US is already, there's so many different, religions and skin color and nationalities, no, original or, your parents' nationalities, original nationalities might be different. So it's all mixed, right? But in Japan, once borders closed, we really forgot about how we used to communicate with people from overseas and such. And again, Japanese people, as you probably understand from the borders being closed for such a long time, even though it's obviously rationally much better to open up the borders and actually get the economy moving and starting, a lot of it, people, especially because the elderly population is very big in Japan, there are a lot of people who are just constantly scared, or I think the right word would be xenophobic, And considering that, even if people start coming back, there might be some Japanese people, especially the elderly, reacting very sensitively to it. Yeah. So this is what we mean by emotionally. There might be some people who gets very angry at certain actions that tourists might take, or that these kind of things used to happen even in the past. And after 3 years of almost complete isolation, we don't know what's going to be happening. So these things might be on the news, maybe like, for example, Japanese locals being angry towards tourists coming back. And even though it's just the few people within the elderly who are saying that, there's probably going to be news coming out like that. And maybe the number of tourists will be dropping from there, and then it'll probably come back. Maybe some kind of news related to the feelings or emotions of Japanese people going up again. And then I think that's going to be going back and forth along, just like the restrictions were going back and forth in 2022 and 2023. The emotions and feelings of Japanese people towards people from overseas coming back into Japan is going to be probably till 2024, 2025, at least what Gaijin Guma is explaining to me. And I partially agree with his opinion. 2025 is a little bit too much in the future that I can't say that I completely 100% agree with him, but I do understand what he is concerned about, though. Everything is super slow in Japan currently. It's very different from what it was like, a few decades back. And the feeling, emotion parts of Japanese people, I completely understand that too. Japanese people are oftentimes, as you guys probably understand, from all the topics that I talk about in my podcast channel, are hardly logical, and a lot of things that we do are very crazy and completely irrational. Yeah, I'll look that up. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so I completely understand about this, and I think there's going to be a lot of things that people who want to come to Japan have to still endure. Basically, maybe it could be the very limited amount of flights, or very limited amount of English, for example, once you come into Japan. Maybe it could be some of the people in Japan not feeling so comfortable and giving you, like, for example, shots of cold looks. Maybe it can happen. Yeah. And I just wanted to share this opinion with you. Yeah, that it's not going to be, restrictions opening, everything, happy ever after kind of thing. There are a few things that's going to be possibly happening. But as Let's Ask Shogo, as Shogo Yamaguchi here, I do really want to do everything I can to try to help both sides, the people in, well, at least in Kyoto, and also to the people who are coming into Japan. Maybe I'm not too sure about exactly what I'll be able to do, but I'll definitely be able to support the people who have their businesses, towards people who are traveling in Japan, and also people who are willing to travel to Japan to understand more about Japanese people. So whenever they do encounter a problem, they'll understand, they'll be able to kind of, well, not fully accept, but at least try to understand why Japanese people act like that. I think it'll make the situation slightly, maybe even just a little bit better. So I'll be continuing to make content trying to solve the situation as much as possible. I believe there is much that I can do, so I think I'll be doing that. And I personally, as I always say, really hope that everyone will be able to travel to Japan again. I mean, I always say, there's a lot of problems in Japan. I want to leave Japan and so on and so forth, but it is probably a very, very nice place to visit. If I was a person outside of Japan, just visiting to Japan would be a great idea, I think. Living here, I think it's the same for every country, actually, not just Japan, but living in a nation makes everything different. Maybe if it's just a year of study abroad, maybe it'd be great. Maybe it's just a 2-week travel, it'd be great. But living here, even longer than that, there's much more things that you need to be concerned about. But I think that's the same as every country. So traveling, I really hope that everyone will be able to do freely in the near future. And I really hope I can do everything I can to try to make the procedures the procedures of Japan getting back to normal as smooth as possible. I want to do everything I can. So then everyone, as I always say, the ultimate goal of my life is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. So I know there's a lot of people studying Japanese willing to come to Japan to study, travel, or work, or even train our traditional culture and such. However, I am very afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future because we're facing a lot of social problems. You're losing our traditional culture, and the younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the good things about Japan are dying because of all the social issues being shoved against them. So I really want to dedicate my life trying to make Japan a better place. I want to try to solve the social problems, preserve and evolve traditional culture, and also help out the younger generations so they can have a better future. And to do this, the nearest goal I have right now is to achieve 2 million subscribers by January 2023 in our main channel. There are likes and comments help to boost our videos. New viewers have never seen our channel before, so it'd be great if you can help us out. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And you guys might have noticed, but yes, I have a completely stuffed nose and I'm suffering a lot from it. I hope it gets better soon. It's during summertime, this happens to me quite often, and my brain stops working in the first place, and it's pretty hard. But yeah, I'll try to recover from it as soon as possible. I'm really sorry if I made you worried. But anyways, thank you so much for listening, guys.